Hi, I'm Pete Bowyer. I'm the Senior Reserve Manager at Fens, Whixall Mosses National Nature Reserve.
Raft spiders are one of the most iconic species on the mosses. The adults are dark brown, almost a sort of a chocolatey colour, and they have either sort of a white, cream or yellow stripe along both sides of their abdomen and thorax. The juveniles are similar really, but sometimes they often have green sort of translucent legs. The female raft spiders slightly bigger than the males. The females sort of go from 9 to about just over 22 mil in body length, and the males is just slightly smaller, so from about 9 mil to about 15 mil body length. A semi-aquatic species found on sort of fresh water. The main habitat is sphagnum bogs and pools. The juveniles, you often find them away from the pools, often on sort of the surrounding vegetation around the pools. I often have seen them up in sort of very small shrubby birch trees, for example. They eat freshwater invertebrates. That's sort of their main food source, really. They prey on invertebrates that are trapped on the water surface. Big part of their diet are things like water beetles, dragonfly larvae, but they will occasionally sort of feed on other things or small vertebrates, really, such as sort of very small fish or small frogs. They got a technique whereby, sort of particularly to avoid predation, really, primarily by birds, the raft spiders can fully submerge themselves in the water, so they can go underwater, and they've been known to go underwater for several minutes. The female of the species has been often known to eat the male spider, so they're cannibalistic, and this could be before, during or after they've mated. The males try to sort of avoid this by courting the female and prevent her from attacking him by signalling their presence using vibrations on the female drag line. But the females are known to be one of the few species to attempt to attack nearly all approaching males, which this behaviour is regarded as unusual, and it can prevent both the male and the female from copulating successfully. However, they obviously do, because we've got lots of raft spiders, and then the female carries the fertilised egg sac around with her, which she places inside a silken nursery tent that she's made. She then guards this nursery, and then until the spiderlings are ready to disperse into the sort of surrounding area, into the surrounding habitat. The raft spiders, you'll see them on top of the water. They're almost like they've obviously got the name raft, but they're sort of just almost look like they're sort of walking on the water or floating on the water. The Latin name for this raft spider is Dolometes fimbriatus. Translation of this, it means crafty or wily, sort of indication of how they often hunt. So they hunt on the surface of the water with their appendages outstretched, and they rely on aquatic vibrations through the water to detect their prey. Also, as you can see here, this dragonfly that you can see is a four-spotted chaser. Well, they're one of the earliest dragonflies you'll encounter on the mosses. They're sort of a medium-sized, fairly broad-bodied dragonfly. And we normally see them on the wing from about May. They can go as late as September, but they often sort of finish before then, depending on the season, really. Sometimes they'll even go into October, though. We have really big numbers of four-spotted chaser here on the NNR, and they're a very active dragonfly that spend most of the time hawking over the water for insect prey. You'll often then see the dragonflies, once they've mated, the female dips their abdomen into the water to drop off her eggs onto the vegetation, primarily in this case sphagnum, which is obviously just below the water surface.
If you've enjoyed this video, please subscribe to my YouTube channel.